Hey, Grande Live, this is Will Bowman, and this is your next iteration of Coffee with Will. I am here with Sam LeBold, who is the owner, the new owner, about a year,
Right.
of Alegre Travel, which is a local travel agency right here on the Grand on Adams Avenue. You probably have seen it. You didn't know what it was, but you've walked past it a couple times. It is there. It exists, and we're going to talk a little bit about traveling and all that kind of fun stuff. So, how are you today, Sam?
I'm good. How are you, Will?
I'm wonderful. I'm getting to talk to people. It's always nice. So tell me a little bit about what is it about travel that you enjoy?
Let's see. It's not really an adrenaline rush for me. I mean, I guess it kind of maybe is, but I just have this great appreciation for seeing old and beautiful and amazing things. When I was in Italy and the first time you ever experience or stand somewhere that existed in, 1200 BC or something like it gives you a feeling, goosebumps. It's amazing to think of how old it makes us. It's humbling. We're very small, and we're in our own little world here, and it just really is amazing to see what else is out there in the world that we just really have no idea exists.
Absolutely.
And beautiful things. I just like to see pretty stuff.
Ultimately, it boils down. I just like to see pretty stuff. My girlfriend and I have been talking about possibly honeymooning in. Sorry for all of the pounding in the background. They're doing construction. We've been talking about possibly honeymooning in Greece, and that's one of the big things that I want is I want to see the Colosseum. I want to see the blossoming place of Western philosophy. I want to see Aristotle's Academy, if it still exists. I want to see like all the things that existed, however many thousands of years, but that people. Oh, I forgot to start the time. Oh well, that's okay. We got extra. I just want to see all that old cultural things that really do. It does. It kind of humbles you, but in a way it also kind of like lifts you up because you're like, wow, these are all people exactly like me.
And they're people that actually existed. They're not people that, you read about them in your history books. And until you're actually there and you see the things that they have done, they are real people that they're not just characters in a book. It's amazing. You have to be very careful with travel though, because it is addicting. It's very addicting. As a matter of fact, all of a sudden I have this desire to see as many UNESCO World Heritage Sites as I can. Well, there's bazillions of them, so I don't know if it's possible to do, but I'm trying. I'm trying to see all the good stuff. It's very humbling, and one of the things that I would recommend to people, and I have people that are a little bit critical of the fact that I travel outside of the United States because there's so much to see in the United States. However, what I have experienced outside of the United States is not real ADA, the American Disabilities. They're not real good accommodating with older people, wheelchairs, things like that. And so I just feel like while I'm younger and I'm mobile, that I should be out there seeing the big stuff. And I really feel like once I get a little bit older and want to slow down, then I'll travel around the United States. And I know there's lots of great stuff. I went to the Grand Canyon for the first time this year, and it was amazing. And it was just right in our backyard. And so there is a lot of great stuff in the United States, which I intend to see as well. It just might wait a little longer. But while I'm young and able, I'll be out traipsing around the world as much as I can.
So tell me about Alegre Travel and how some of the trips you've taken recently.
Oh, wow. Well, since I started, I have been to Mexico twice, which was my first times to Mexico, which were my first times. And, Mexico gets a lot of negative PR.
It really does.
I love Mexico. I just absolutely fell in love. I've only been to Cabo, and I've been to Estapa and Zihuatanejo, and I, it's amazing. It's beautiful. I really enjoyed Mexico. And so those were my first 2 trips when I started working at Alegre Travel that I was able to do. Since then, I have been to the Dominican Republic. I've been to Ireland and Scotland. I'm going back to Ireland and Scotland in October.
Wow.
Just got back from Peru hiking the Inca Trail, as people have probably seen all over Facebook. I've been bombarding everybody. Where have I been? I've been to the Dominican Republic. I actually went to Hawaii for my first time this year, like I said. Went to the Grand Canyon. I'm starting to lose track of all of the places I've been. I'll be in Vietnam, Cambodia in just a few weeks. I'm really excited about that trip. I have a Viking River cruise in Paris to Prague next summer, and I intend to I'm forming another group to hike the Inca Trail next year again because it was so amazing in Peru. So I have a lot of things lined out that I'm really excited about. I'd like to go back down to Peru later this year as well and do another big hike that's very popular down there. I'm sure I'm forgetting.
That is okay. I think we've got a little bit of a taste of some of the things that you do with Alegre Travel. Now, my question for you is this. Why should someone who is otherwise capable of going on the internet and looking up places and planning hotels and planning place vacations and those kinds of things, because with the internet we have everything today, we can do it all ourselves.
Right.
Why should somebody come to a travel agency, and above and beyond that, a local travel agency?
Well, there's many reasons.
Okay.
And I understand the attraction doing it online yourself, because I've done that. That's how I actually became as interested in it as I am. Sure. I was always the person in our group that booked all of our travel whenever my friends and I went somewhere. Oh, Sam, you do it. You're, da-da-da. Well, what I found myself and what I have the complaint that we're getting from people more
Keep going.
often than not ever now is that the internet has so much information on it that people are really having a difficult time sifting through it all.
And that's true.
And you see these great headlines about these great deals that you're getting, and then once you get into it and delve into it a little more, once you've clicked a few times, all of a sudden we're adding on all these fees and it's not turning out to be what they expected it to be. And so the internet it's a great thing if you have lots of time on your hands, because they're finding, they're doing research on it, and they're finding that the average consumer spends like 4.5 hours on researching just for a hotel before they even click on it to make a booking.
Wow.
And what people don't understand is that everything you can get on the internet, we get as well. And we're saving people time. That's the biggest thing. People appreciate what we're doing for them because they're not having to go out and, spend all of that time doing it themselves. And the biggest reason I think, especially coming from a small town, is that we're local. And you're going to find the same prices on the internet that you're going to find with us, but you're keeping your money in your local community.
Oh, really? So you guys it's not that much more expensive to do it through you than
It's not, and actually we'll price match.
Oh, wow.
So, no, you're dealing with, for instance, Expedia is a travel agency.
Sure.
Costco is a travel agency. Allegra Travel is a travel agency.
Sure.
So when you book with Expedia, you're paying the same amounts. It's just that the commissions are going to Expedia to expand their travel agency. Costco, the money is going to Costco. Allegra Travel, the money is going to Allegra Travel.
Sure.
So it's the same concept. They're all travel agencies. It's just that you're dealing with a local one. If you've ever tried to book things on Expedia, on Priceline, on Costco, a lot of times everything is fine. It goes fine.
Sure.
If you have problems, they are trying to get customer service on an online, a huge online entity like those. It's almost impossible to get any kind of customer service. If you have flights that are canceled, they don't care. And a lot, and what we're finding is, for instance, Expedia has partnered with travel agents now because they have finally discovered the value in them. So when you're on Expedia looking at their prices, and then you come into our office, and they have the best prices sometimes, not always. We deal with lots of vendors, and Expedia is one of them now. And so people are like, well, you're just on Expedia just like I am. Well, we actually have access to a different portal. And so Expedia has set up an entirely separate place for us to go, but you're going to get the same prices whether you do it or I do it. It's just that we're going to make a little bit of money
locally.
And it's going to stay in the local community.
So what it sounds like is you do pay a little bit more. You do pay a little bit more than you would if you did it on your own. But what you're saving is the time. And that's, time is money. You could be spending that time doing other things. Normally, people make enough to where, they are probably would make more per hour than they would save by doing it on their own, kind of a thing.
Right.
I always think about it in that context when I hire people to do things for me. Like if I were working during this time, would I be able to make more than I'm saving? Or would I be able to make more than I'm saving? If so, then, I'm going to hire somebody else out to do it, or if not, then I'll just do it myself. But it sounds like it's not that much more to do it through a travel agency than to do it on your own.
That's also, though, that's not completely accurate because studies that they're doing and finding, on the average, they're finding on a larger vacation, the travel agencies it's what's the word I'm looking for? Average.
I don't know.
On an average, travel agencies are saving people about $450 on a vacation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because a lot of time, the vendors that we deal with, we have contracts with. And, if we bundle things together, but $450 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that is an average that we are saving people on a vacation. Like I said, we also price match. And so, no, you're not spending any more money by using us. You're not.
You're saving money.
Yeah, you're saving money, and we have so many people that come in after their vacations and just say, thank you so much. You guys made everything so easy. We book your flight, we book your transfers to and from your hotels, we book your excursions, the things that you want to go do. We can get you front of the line tickets, for instance. If you decide that you want to just go hang out in Ireland or whatever, you're going to stop at Trinity College and see the Book of Kells, you're going to stand in line for hours to get a ticket.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of times they're sold out by the time you get there. And we can actually get you those things before you get there. You're skipped to the front of the line. You don't have to wait in line. And you are assured that you are actually going to have access to that. Oh, wow. And yeah, we just make it really easy for people, and people are very appreciative when they come back. They are very appreciative, and people are so afraid to travel, and that's part of the reason is because they're afraid to get somewhere and not know what to do. And so if we can line them out and make it really easy for people, then they're coming back and they're doing it again because they're enjoying it. So
I've got to say, the one thing that would be really nice for me, if I were doing this, is getting to interact with a person rather than having to sit and stare at a screen for God knows how many hours, to do this. To be able to just go in and say, here's what I want to do this, I want to do that, and I'd like to explore some more things that I want to do, and just be able to talk to somebody who's, flesh and blood, will talk back to me and interact with me, because that's what I always get frustrated with like, internet. It's like, like talking on like calling Expedia or something like that, it's like, oh, well, hey, I want to do this. Well, thank you. Option 1 is this. Option 2, it's like, I don't want any of those options. I want option F. Can I please have that? I'm sorry, that does not compute. And you're just like, oh my gosh, stop.
And that's a big thing. People want to talk to somebody who has firsthand experience. And as travel agents, we have access to, they call them familiarization tours. So we have companies that, will... Nothing's free anymore. We do have to pay for it, and that's a misconception. Everybody thinks we get to travel for free, but we don't.
No.
And we get discounts. My agents have been, we've been going everywhere. I've got Cindy, who's been to England and Costa Rica in the last few months, and Brandy's been to Hawaii. She just got back from Cancun, and I've obviously been some places, so, I'm trying to send, them all places so that you have that firsthand knowledge when you come in. What you find when you come into Allegra Travel is we like to talk a lot.
I
So
understand.
people come in, we're all very passionate about what we like, what we do,
Sure.
and we love to travel. And so we will give you all kinds of information about anything that you want to know as far as traveling. Cruises, lots of people like cruises. I have not personally been on one, but everybody else in the office has pretty much been, on Alaska cruises, the Caribbean cruises, Bahamas. We have been a lot of places, and so we have a lot of knowledge about those places. And, some local places. I sent them all recently down to Sun River, down the Bend area, because none of us had ever experienced that before. And so we do get deals with Sun River. If you book Sun River through us, there's lots of local people who go down there on a regular basis.
Yeah.
We're going to get you the same price, but you're going to get resort credits if you go through us that you can use on the resort, at the restaurants, to do the activities. So it's not always necessarily that we're getting you a less expensive. You're getting a better value because we are able to get you amenities that you probably would not be able to get. For instance, book the Hard Rock Cafe down in Cancun. You do it on your own. You're going to do it for the same price as we would do it. However, we may have a special available to us for, $1,800 resort credit.
Oh, wow.
And so you're going to get the best value through us. And people don't understand that. And vacations, perks make a vacation. People regret not doing upgrades. They regret not spending a little more money. That's one of the biggest regrets that people have when they come back is, if you, for instance, going to Hawaii, everybody says, I'm just going to get a hotel room because I'm never going to be in my room anyway. And they come back and they say, how I wish I would have gotten a view, And so when you're on vacation, you want to enjoy it.
Sure, absolutely.
I will never go back to Hawaii without getting a room with a view. I love having my doors open while the ocean is, and people, the first time you experience it, you will understand that. You're doing things that you're probably maybe never going to do again. Go to Hawaii, get the upgrade. I mean, seriously, why would you want to drive around in a little compact car instead of a convertible? It's so, you only live once. You only live once. You might as well
YOLO.
enjoy it. And so, but that's another thing. People think that we're trying to get more money out of them. We just hear the complaints. We hear what people regret. I wish I would have stayed a couple more days.
Sure.
I wish I would have, just put the money out for this.
Yeah.
Well, it's too late, but I guess you'll have to go back and do it again the right way. So, but, and other people are fine with it, because they don't spend the time, in their room. We were just out at the pool and out at the beach all day. And for those kind of people that know that about themselves, then that's great. That's fine.
But still, I still think that the aspect of having the people to talk to, I think that there's something for everybody to gain from going through, Alegre Travel, because, you do get better deals, you do get saved things, and you do get to talk to a person. You get to, unless you're like, unless you're a hobbit and you don't like to talk to people, when, in which case I don't know why you're going on vacation anyways, unless it's to like run around, museums for the entire time,
Right.
which is fine, but I think for anybody who wants to engage people at all in their vacations, I think Alegre Travel and, local travel agencies just in general have something to offer. And I think that's really cool. And I think if and when I start to do vacations around here, I think I'll probably be coming in and
Well, that would be great. Yeah, and you also have to consider, I'm lying in bed one night and it's midnight and my phone rings. And I have clients that are stranded at an airport because their flight was canceled.
Exactly.
And they're not getting anywhere with the airlines and their front desk. And so they're being told, you're not going to be able to get on a flight until tomorrow. Well, they've already got reservations lined up. They've got hotels and resorts and transfers that are expecting them. And so they call me, and I was able to get them on the next flight out.
Oh, cool.
And so those are the kinds of things that people really appreciate, and because they would not have been able to do that. The airlines, the vendors, they know they're talking to, the average person. They're not going to do much for them.
Absolutely.
They start talking to travel agents, and we know the lingo, we know what they're asking, we know what they're, what we need to do, we know the consumer's rights, those kinds of things. So we're able to go to bat for people, and I'm almost always able to get things done right away for people where they wouldn't be able, unless of course it's a snowstorm and things are shut down.
Sure.
And but
That's just an act of God kind of a thing.
yeah, the flight airlines anymore, they overbook everything, and so next flight's booked, you're gonna have to wait until the. Well, it's not always the case.
No.
Persistency pays off, and
Absolutely.
so, like I said, they were able to get on the next flight. They were so appreciative, and so they didn't have to change, a lot of the things that were going on the other end. We do a lot of good stuff. Like we are your own personal concierge service. If you have any problems whatsoever, you don't have to talk to people. You don't have to push one. You don't have to push two for this. You just come talk to us, and then we do all of that stuff for you. So,
Cool.
and we love to travel, so it's really good for us.
Sounds like a win-win situation.
Yes, it does. It is.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Samantha. Or is it Sam or Samantha?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
It's usually, if I'm in trouble, it's Samantha.
Thank you, Samantha. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Sam, for coming in. And I hope that people are able to go down and visit you. They're on Adams Avenue. So if you're looking for a vacation, head down and visit Alegre Travel right here in LeGrand. Don't go online. Head down to Alegre Travel. So thank you for coming in and chatting with us, Sam.
Thank you for having me, Will.
Thanks, LeGrand Alive. Tune in next time for another Coffee with Will, and more later this week for another news roundup and more local content.